Welcome to the Coronavirus Chronicles at Highlander Rewatched. I don't know. We're your rewatchers. I'm Keith.
This is Kyle.
This is Eamon.
Hey, guys.
Not a traditional chronicle, but a chronicle of a sort.
Yes.
The Rona Rewatched.
Rona Rewatched.
This is fun, Eamon. This is like we're in one of those IMAX movie things. Getting real up close.
Yeah, it's a 3D. Somebody just threw a knife at you and it's 3D. How cool.
Whoa.
Neo.
How do people feel about 3D movies? I feel like it almost never enhances my experience.
I do not like them.
And I often feel
3D
like...
movies?
Huh?
Did you say 3D movies?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
I usually feel like, oh, you put that shot in just so it could be 3D. It's a bad shot otherwise. So, like, thank you for making a worse movie for this gimmick.
There's this 3D movie I watched called Long Day's Journey into Night, which is supposed to be really good 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it streaming and not in 3D, and I really liked it. But I was like, I wish I could have seen this in 3D. Did y'all see Avatar in 3D?
I did not.
I did not either, actually.
I heard that was, like, good.
Yeah, me too.
I heard that too, and I did not care for that movie. So.
But, like, there's a difference. Like, they use, like, 3D cameras for that movie, right? Like, isn't there some difference between, like, the 3D that's created, like, post-production as opposed to, like, the ones that are specifically... I don't know.
It is.
Probably.
I saw Tron Legacy in 3D.
Congratulations.
That did not enhance my experience.
No. What about Jeff Bridges' like weird plastic skin?
Ooh, I love that.
Oh, that's the only thing I need in 3D, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Disney Plus. I was thinking about watching it.
Oh, you should. It's very not good.
I successfully watched the first 3 minutes of The Mandalorian yesterday.
Yeah. How was that?
It was great. I'm very excited to see more of it. I love the Red Viper. I mean, I don't love him enough to remember the actor's name, but, you know.
Wow. Well, we're on a tangent already. We haven't even, like, introduced what we're doing. So, hi, everybody. We are going to be doing things differently for the next couple weeks, I guess, right? So, we've got, I think we've been teasing this for a while, a ton of reader mail. Wow.
So much reader mail.
Like, you guys get ready. This is the stack.
Ooh.
Look at this.
That's a fat stack, baby.
Lots. Look at these like tomes that people have written. It's a lot of messages. Anyway, so we're gonna go through all of them. Why not? We have the time. So yeah, I don't know. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. And this is all weird for us, but we figured this is a good way to, continue the podcast, I guess, right?
Yeah.
During this time, before we kind of hop back into regular episodes. I don't know. We'd like to give you guys like a good show. So we think it's probably better that like once some restrictions are lifted and people we're able to get together again.
I feel like Eamon's practically in the room already. We're really together.
He's in your mind. So once we all can get together again, maybe in a few weeks, hopefully short months, maybe, we'll kick back in with the series. But in between, we'll be doing some fun other stuff like reader mail episodes. And we were talking about doing some other kind of cool interactive things or, I don't know, different stuff for the community, right?
Yeah, it should be good stuff. So stay tuned. You never know when we might be announcing the next video or live show or something that might be coming your way to keep you entertained when you are locked away in your house and want to do something that's at least nominally related to Highlander.
You'll never know when we're in your house.
Oh, hello, Dash.
So let's do like a little, I don't know, coronavirus update or something. Like, Kyle, you mentioned you were watching Mandalorian. So what else have you been watching? Have you been spending your time?
Finished Tiger King.
Okay.
I feel like it's the most robust national dialogue we've had in a long time.
Eamon, have you seen this as well?
I have not. Or that's a lie. I saw some of the first episode. Kyle, do you think Trump should pardon Joe Exotic?
No. I am not sure what his crimes are, but I am sure that he's a bad person.
Do you think Joe Exotic's crimes are less bad or more bad than the crimes of Grindelwald from Harry Potter?
Ooh, that's a great question. Grindelwald, I guess, is racist, and I like to emphasize that. So there's a whole movie about his crimes.
I know.
Wow.
So many crimes.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Crimes of Grindelwald?
Nope.
Yeah. I found it incomprehensible.
Wow.
Isn't there a snake? There's a snake in that movie?
There's a snake in my boot, and there was when I saw the movie. So by the distributive property, definitely a snake in that movie.
All right. Hey man, what have you been doing?
Boys in the Well. I just I relocated to my girlfriend's house.
Oh, okay.
Will you be my quarantine?
Handy wreath. Ooh, I like that.
Quarantine. Barn door.
Barn door. And I watched Primal, the Jenny Tartovsky cartoon about a caveman.
Is it good?
It's amazing. I highly recommend everyone watch it if you like Samurai Jack. And I've been rewatching Samurai Jack.
That's good. I've been meaning to watch that again.
It's all on Adult Swim for free.
Wow, awesome.
Sweet. Oh, yeah. I just saw the new Little Women.
It was good.
It's incredible. It was fantastic.
Where did you see it?
It's you can just rent it now.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we watched it the other day. I thought it was terrific. I don't understand how what's her name, like Greta Gerwig, was not nominated for Best Director.
Because of the sexism in Hollywood, the patriarchy.
Man, no, it's very good. I highly recommend it. And it's very different than the original movie. If you've seen that one, or I don't know if it's the original version, but the one that was popular when we were younger. It's like very different, but very similar in a lot of ways. Also, I like that it's not in chronological order anymore. So.
Right, that was like the big change, right?
Yeah, so it's cool. It's got like it really reframes the narrative. It's great.
Yeah,
Pulp Fiction style.
Baby.
It's been a long time since I've seen the other movie. Is Winona Ryder in that one? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Oh,
I don't.
Maybe.
I'm trying to think who else is in that movie.
The original Little Women.
Yeah, which is also probably like the fourth time they made that movie, but.
Yeah, it probably is.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, no,
cool.
That's great.
What about
any good takeout options? You guys getting food?
It is Winona Ryder. You are correct.
All right.
Takeout options? Well, I've been trying to, whenever possible, like patronize some of the restaurants in the area that have switched to a takeout model, just because they are not built for this, and unfortunately they might not make it if people don't go to them. So one of my favorite sit-down places in town is Satay Kampar. It's like a Malaysian place, and they've just started doing this wild, like, it's a very limited takeout menu that always just has like random specials on it, some of which are Malaysian food, and others are just like a member of our staff is coming in today to make tacos, because that's like something that they are passionate about. So here you go, you can order it.
That's cool.
And they've also been doing like a lot of Malaysian street food. So there's like this Malaysian technique of like wrapping what we would kind of consider a burger in like a really thin sheet of egg that then gets wrapped around it. It was awesome.
Oh, fun. Awesome. Cool.
How about you?
Food?
Yeah.
Just cooking at home. I don't know. Made some bread. I've been messing around with like vegan recipes, which has been fun. So I've been working on a vegan bacon recipe. Last night I tried grilling vegan steaks. That was interesting.
What was the protein?
It was a mix of Vital Wheat gluten, beans. There were some seasonings. I wasn't too happy with the results, so I'm going to keep trying. It was, I don't know, a miss.
Yeah, vegan. Like, I'm not one of these anti-vegan guys. Vegan steak though just does not.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen like some demos of it online, and some people have done some kind of interesting things. So I don't know. It's like messing with new techniques and stuff. Tonight I'm making vegan soup dumplings, so I'm excited about that. That's one like I want to get down. But
I'm bad at eating those.
That could be great.
Suck the soup out. I'm bad at
suck the soup out.
Sucking the soup out.
Sucking the soup. Real soup
Suck
sucker.
my soup.
Have you ever seen someone fail miserably at eating those?
Yeah, myself.
One of the first times I had them, somebody just like bit into it and exploded like boiling hot soup all over themselves. And I was just like, oh, this is so sad.
Yeah.
That's a lawsuit. Well, they're going to start printing like
lawsuit.
extremely hot a lawsuit.
Right.
Like that coffee case where it burnt that woman's area.
Oh, that case, the way people talk about that case makes me so mad. I don't know if we want this diatribe.
We can. There's a good documentary about it.
Yeah, she deserves every cent of that money.
Oh, yeah.
Because it wasn't just like, her coffee is hot. McDonald's, because they wanted to flip over their coffee less frequently to like stop bacterial growth, they had it at an outrageously high temperature that no one would ever have coffee. And when she spilled it on herself, it literally melted the skin off of her legs.
Yep.
She had extreme burns that needed reconstructive surgery because it was so bad. And it's like, no, this isn't like dirt to dirt, coffee is hot. This is like, oh, and they had been warned about it before. Other people had savagely burned themselves. McDonald's knew this was hazardous to people, and they kept doing it anyway. Fuck them.
Yep.
And fuck this campaign for tort reform to protect people who do it. End of rant.
To continue, to pick up your rant though, then they also like went on like a smear campaign of that woman.
Yeah.
Like they like paid to have articles printed about like that she's like, oh, an idiot. Like, of course coffee's hot, like to change public opinion on it and stuff.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Them in the Chamber of Commerce don't dump millions of dollars into judicial elections to try to limit these kinds of damages. Makes me very mad. Anyway.
Wow.
Your campaign, I thought they were promoting bagels.
Very good.
Oh, I liked that. It was terrible though.
It was very bad.
So,
McDonald's is a bad company. Pay your workers more, McDonald's.
But they have delicious food.
Ooh, they do.
I mean, it's salty.
Yeah.
And it
Last
is
time
salty.
I ate McDonald's, I thought I was gonna die.
Oh,
Like it fucked up my stomach so much.
wow.
I like eating nuggets though.
Yeah,
Anything in
everyone loves
nugget
eating
form
nuggets.
is good.
Yeah.
Ooh, the crucial battle: Nuggets v. Tendies, Dawn of Justice. Which one is it?
Oh, I like chicken tenders more.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I could eat like a box of 20 nuggets in like 5 minutes.
But I think also that's because like the chicken nugget is not given the, sometimes the respect that a chicken tender is.
Yes, this is true.
Like
See,
the breading on a chicken tender is almost always like of a higher caliber than on a nugget.
Yeah. Though I've heard people argue that the surface area ratio is what makes nuggets superior.
Exactly.
But I'm on Team Tendy, but I was laughed out of a room the last time this debate came up.
What about team popcorn chicken? I think popcorn chicken is the mix of the two. Like the breading of a
nuggets.
What's that?
Those are just nuggets.
No, popcorn chicken is even tinier, and the breading is like different, I think.
Interesting.
I don't know.
It's crispier.
I just thought those were nuggets with good marketing.
Maybe it could be that. I love
Anyway.
popcorn.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Speaking of popcorn,
speaking of,
you eat
all
it
right.
while you watch movies, and Highlander's a movie. Reader mail.
That's right. Okay, so reader mail. Yeah, so obviously we've been off track. We're going to keep going off track because this is for fun. I don't know. We're all stuck inside. You're stuck inside. Hopefully this is fun to just hang out together, right, guys? Everyone out there? Imaginary listener?
Absolutely.
I said imaginary listener. Like, I assume no one's listening. It's like, no, we have a lot of imaginary listeners.
Yeah.
There's Eamon.
If I die on camera, it's because my dogs are farting, and it is a horror show.
Are they sneaking beans or something?
But
Anyway,
yeah.
I'm going to read some emails. And just to let our listeners know moving forward with this, like, we're going to switch up the way we do this, so I won't be the only one reading them. But for this episode, maybe the next, I'll be the one reading the emails. Then Kyle and Eamon on the next couple episodes will be reading some as well. So, you guys ready? And again, we're going through pretty much everything we got. I think I took out one email because I said this is too racist to read on air. So
Yikes.
cool.
Wait, really? I don't think I read that one.
Yeah, it's from a while ago. So yeah,
Like
Hey,
long
guys.
enough that racism was acceptable.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
I
no.
printed it out thinking,
During
you
the
know what,
Civil
this
War.
will be good, and then I was like, you know what, racism isn't good, so I deleted
Yeah,
it.
you printed it out in the 1940s, and now all of a sudden you're like, I don't know, times have changed.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
don't know
these
if
are.
this is a self. Sorry, Keith. I don't know if this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, but guys, don't send us racist emails.
I don't think people needed to be told that, but
Just in case.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it, don't do it.
don't
That's
do
right.
it.
All right. So these are the way we're gonna do this is these are all gonna be read like in order, I guess, for the most part, like of episode relevance or whatever. So however, the first couple emails I'm gonna read are actually about Stan Kirsch, which is why I wanted to read them first. So this is from Dan V.
This isn't the racist email though.
No, it is not. No. He says, hey, rewatchers, I'm a little embarrassed to say I didn't know about Stan Kirsch until you mentioned it a few weeks ago. I thought maybe to honor him a little, it would be good to do a little mental exercise of Highlander rewrite and ask you what you would do with Richie if you had control of the series from start to finish. what would be a more fulfilling story? And so he kind of gives his thoughts on it as well. And we've kind of touched on that a bit on what maybe our Richie episode at Archangel or our season 5 wrap up maybe. But he says, my thoughts on this are to let the audience experience what it's like to be a new immortal through Richie's eyes while Duncan guides him. Focus much more on that mentor who has been there and done that while Richie learns the rules. The biggest change is the end of season 5. I instead would have had a parting of ways with a mentor and student. We know immortals go sometimes hundreds of years without seeing someone else. Even in the case of someone as important in Duncan's life as Amanda, he didn't see her for 50 plus years. Maybe even give us a flash forward to put us on the Eiffel Tower 60 years in the future, and they meet up for a bottle of wine. I feel like that is more of a send-off that Richie deserved. And because we were talking about it, I wanted to mention what I think his middle name is. Remember we asked a while ago,
yeah.
Because it was, what was Richie H. Ryan, was it? Something like that? It was just a made-up thing. So he says in the first 2 seasons, it's Richie Horndog Ryan. Middle seasons, it's Richie, hey, I'm in this show too, you know? And in season 6, it's Richie Headless Ryan. Too soon, question mark? Love the show and look forward to what is beyond season 6. Cheers. And he also says, P.S., fuck Nazis, use karate moves on them whenever you can.
Yeah.
So I think, Kyle, you had mentioned, I don't know.
Oh, this is the anti-racist email.
Yeah, the anti-racist email. That's right.
This is the Antifa email.
Ooh.
So Dan V's question was about what would you do from him start to finish? I think we've kind of tackled this. I don't know if you want to add any thoughts.
Step 1, don't kill him.
Yeah, that is definitely step 1.
Step 1.
From start to finish, all on the way, I would not have killed him. But no, I don't know, Richie's arc is obviously very disappointing, but I feel like some of the most interesting moments with him are like his moments of growth. Like they're like some of the only changes with stakes in this episode. Like after Richie kills Mako and goes away, like that feels like a real character moment. And his relationship with Duncan is seemingly altered afterwards. Whereas Mythos, like the revelation could happen that he's killed 10,000 and it's just again back to business. You know, so like they seem to know that his character growth had dramatic stakes for the show. So I don't know why they didn't do more of it. Sorry, you're saying it?
Yeah, I thought it would have been cool if they kind of played up Richie's mean streak and maybe had that come to a head a little more. Because
I loved that, honestly.
Yeah, they kind of go back to them being friends after that one episode where Richie burns the motorcycle.
That's right.
What episode is that?
The one with Haresh Clay.
Yeah, which is a good episode.
It is a good episode, but like it doesn't feel like a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it feels like, oh, we're getting to know a new character.
Right.
Great.
But yeah, what about you, Keith? Any thoughts?
No, I echo what you guys think. I don't mind that Richie's not immortal in the beginning. Like, I'm okay that it's not like Duncan finds him and is like, oh, let me teach you the ways, like from jump. I think it's okay to have that transition happen. Like, I think that's cool to see, especially like the way they do it with like test eyes, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I there's just needs to be more consequences for all the stuff that happens. And I feel like, I don't know, Richie should either be the biggest villain this show has ever seen at the end, which might be interesting, or I don't know, I feel like they need to have a bigger falling out, reconcile. Yeah, I don't know, like their relationship should feed into that kind of Talmudic discussion I think the show has. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Or maybe even like they could be enemies and then team up against like a bigger common enemy or something. I know that's a trope, but
yeah,
you know what I mean?
But they're all better tropes than what they did.
Yeah.
Just killing them off the way, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like you said, in what's the episode with Haresh Clay? What's that called? End of Innocence. Yeah, that episode does need to be bigger, and I think there should be a bigger falling out after that. And I don't know. We can see how they repair their relationship. So, next up on the old emails, this is a Patreon message from Wes C. He says, thanks for sharing the Stan pod. I remember seeing Stan appear on Friends and feeling like a friend of mine made it on a big show, even though I never met Stan. He will be missed. I think that's a nice little sentiment, considering like the Highlander community is a pretty close knit group of fans. To be like, oh, like this person that was on like my little show is like on a big network thing. So
yeah, well, it's also like I guess people did legitimately know him from that. Like I want to say, my fiance's mother, who is a big Friends fan, like shot around a text. Did you like, oh, did you see so and so saying like the one little bit part character he played on Friends, like that guy died?
Yeah,
it's people cared about it.
I feel like a couple years ago I saw like some magazine, it might have been like People magazine or something, did some roundup on like the best Friends episode ever, like the best Friends episode of each season, and Stan's episode was the #1 episode from season 1. So
oh, interesting.
Yeah,
we watched that, didn't we? Didn't we watch that
we
together?
Did watch it
oh
together.
Yeah, we hung out and watched that. Yeah, it's a good episode.
It is good. I'm not the biggest Friends fan, but it's a good episode.
Yeah.
There's usually like, I think there's usually like a couple of good laughs in every episode, and then otherwise I'm just not that interested.
Speaking of a couple of good laughs, we've started watching Frasier.
Oh yeah,
Frasier rewatch. I'm liking it more than I thought I was gonna like it. Remembering it, I don't know. I was like, it'll be fine. I've laughed a couple times, maybe embarrassingly so. I'm like, oh shit, I thought that was really funny.
Did I tell this on the podcast? The Frasier laugh list.
It's a great story. I think you should tell it again.
Okay, so me and my roommates a couple years ago started watching Frasier, ironically, which is a very hipster thing to do. Not that I identify as a hipster.
Super hipster.
Yeah, and so it was 3 of us, so we each had a column, and anytime one of us laughed, we would mark it on the sheet. And by the end of it, we watched all 11 seasons.
There are 11 seasons?
There are 11 seasons of Frasier.
There's like 260 episodes.
Yeah. I had the most laughs, and it was like all down the front and all down the back. So apparently I think Frasier is like the funniest show ever. I do like Frasier, though, after rewatching it. It's pretty good.
It is pretty good. And Kelsey, like the whole cast is really great. Like, I don't know. They're all stand-up performances. And Kelsey Grammer is hysterical. I think we actually got into watching it because we've been rewatching The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
And like I almost said SpongeBob.
Yeah,
SpongeBob. His version of SpongeBob is great. Sideshow Bob is like such a good character, and his voice is perfect for it.
Squidward.
Like it's such a crazy dynamic cartoon voice, and it's kind of not that different than his normal voice. Like he has this crazy range. He gets, I don't know, it's very funny. So there we go, Frasier. All right, last episode about Stan here.
Last episode about Stan.
Or last email. I'm sorry, guys.
Just giving you shit.
Yep. All right. This is from Brian S. Hello, rewatchers. I just heard.
Brian's.
Yes. What'd I say?
You said Brian S. I just said Brian's.
Oh, that's right. Very good. Sorry.
We were just doing that thing we always do.
Yep. All right. Hello, rewatchers. I just heard the somber and tragic news of Stan's passing. He will be missed immensely. His role of Richie Ryan will always be remembered as one of the high points of the series. My prayers and heartfelt condolences go out to his immediate family and his extended Highlander family as well as all the fans he endeared himself to. Stan Kirsch, no more worries, no more pain. Rest now in peace and know that you've touched so many hearts. Adieu, mon ami, adieu. Heartfelt and sincerely, Brian S. So thank you, Brian, for taking the time to write that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no jokes.
No
sure.
joke.
That would be appropriate.
Huh?
That would be appropriate.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, guys. So are you guys ready for some? This is, I don't know if you guys can see.
Oh, mama.
Don't worry. There's.
Oh, boy. Is this one message?
That is one. I had to shrink the text. It was going to print on 3 pages. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. So this is a long one.
And you're reading the whole thing. This is unredacted?
Well, I guess, yeah.
Mueller. Unredacted Mueller report.
That's
Unseal the grand jury.
This is from Anthony E. I think Anthony might be a newer emailer to us. He's written us a couple times. We'll get to some of his other emails.
Is it Anthony or like the place around the corner from my house that sells fried meatballs? Is it Anthony?
Anthony? No, this is Anthony E. Or Tony E. Tony. Maybe we have read a Tony email before. Anyway,
we've definitely made Tony jokes.
Tony. So the subject is sorry, long one, but I've got some thoughts. Parentheses, Darkness 75, which is pretty good. This email, just to let you know how far back we're reaching. This might not be the oldest one. November 5th,
Oh boy.
2019 is when this email was from.
It's like 5 months. It's actually better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I think there might be 1 or 2 from September in here, so we're getting there. So he just listened to Courage, which is season 3.
Wow.
So his first comment is about the Joe bar layout. So what better discussion to have than now? Joe's bar layout. Okay, so here are my thoughts on the double entrance to Joe's bar. I live in the West, and we have buildings with 2 entrances like that all over the place. It's because cities are basically built into hills, and it's impossible to just flatten everything out. So you have an entrance at one elevation, but when you drive around to the back of the building, the elevation changes. So there's elevation changes so much that you can enter the entrance. What? Sorry, it's hard to read, and it's tiny. Whatever. A lot of homes are built like that. In fact, the homes built right behind me have walkout basements. So anyway, this goes on about that. He says, the conflict arises when you both assume both doors are on the same side. That wouldn't make sense. But in the case where elevation changes dramatically, as it does here, it would make total sense where a door would be on the street. Which makes sense why Richie uses that entrance, probably because he just parks his bike on the curb instead of going down a steep road and trying to find a parking spot. Just a thought. Wow. The Joe's Bar controversy returns.
It looms large.
It does loom large. His next point is about immortals getting addicted.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So I'm just grateful that entire thing was not.
Yeah, that would be rough.
Yeah.
Immortals getting addicted. I don't think that immortals can get addicted. I think whatever whatever toxins are in their body get flushed out by their immortality. However, addiction is more than chemical. Nicotine, for example, only takes a few days to leave your system, but the habit of smoking is something that's much harder to break. It becomes a psychological addiction and not chemical. I think in the example where Cullen is double fisting coke, it's because he wants to stay in that state of being numb to the world. He isn't necessarily addicted to it. He just knows that it's the most effective thing at making him not care about the game and the world in general. He probably can quit it anytime he wants, but he likes what the coke does to him, so he doesn't.
I have such strong feelings about this.
I can quit whenever I want.
There we go.
Yeah, I think this is wrong. Also, I'm pretty sure it takes nicotine months to fully leave your body.
Oh, wow. I don't know enough about that sort of stuff to comment necessarily accurately. Yeah, I don't know how it would leave your body. I don't know about the leaving your body thing, though. Because Duncan...
Didn't we just see Cullen seemingly be addicted to it?
Yeah, and was he going through withdrawal ever in the... Did we see that?
He certainly physically looks like it. He looks like he's sweating and pale.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were saying...
Great. I was going to say that Duncan says they can get sick, though. They just can't die from it. So that would be why I'd be wondering if, sure, they could get addicted because, the chemical would remain in their body, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it would flush out every day. I don't know.
Yeah, not that I know of.
It's made up, so there's also that.
What?
Disorientation after a mortal death is the topic here. It says, I think an immortal would be extremely disoriented after coming back to life. We see it a few times, actually. When they are dead, their brain is deprived of oxygen and their muscles as well. That would make you really wobbly for a while until everything gets back to normal. Whatever physical trauma killed you might be cured, but the process of achieving equilibrium would take some time even after you revive. That is why they stagger off when they come to. Colin sort of rolled off the gurney and staggered into the closet, he says. So, okay, I guess they're... I don't know if did we debate that on the show? That he's groggy when he wakes up?
I don't know. I don't recall calling that out, but maybe we did.
Huh. All right, the next heading. Cops raiding the warehouse. There's a lot of headings here, guys.
At least he put in headings to guide the reader.
Yeah. There was some discussion as to why the cops showed up at the raid to raid the drug deal. Oh, that's right. They were at some warehouse, right?
Yeah, I don't know why that happened.
And I have to say this about it. The drug dealer was probably a known criminal. The cops may have had an informant who said he just picked up a bag of product of local coke. What? Oh, for a local coke fiend. Sorry, guys. My reading comprehension is poor. Clearly, the dealer is a coward and not a threat, and they figured drawn guns would be enough to put them both in cuffs. They were probably looking for the feather in their caps, and they did this on their own, so they didn't get anyone else involved. That's my theory anyway. All right.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
They're dirty cops.
They're dirty cops, huh? They're on the take?
They're looking for their payoff. They're like, hey, this guy just got some drug money. Time to get a little juice, street juice. What was it called? Street grease.
Street grease.
Street grease.
That's right. All right, next topic. Violent death triggers immortality. This doesn't have as much to do with courage, but I think it's something I seem to remember reading somewhere. In order to trigger immortality, you need a violent death. Right. This would mean a bunch of 95-year-old immortals running around, and it wouldn't work at all. Right. This goes on. Pretty sure I read that rule in an RPG called Legacy. I think we played that game.
Is that a Highlander RPG?
I don't think so. Oh, it says it's basically a Highlander RPG. I think someone's written us about that before that said it like feels like Highlander.
Yeah.
Legacy is an episode of Highlander.
There you go. It's an entire board game based on that one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been weirder board games.
Right? Isn't Legacy an episode of Highlander?
It is with Amanda.
Amanda.
All right, next topic. Why was the old man in the cave so freaking old? So now we're jumping to season 5 in these comments.
Wow.
He says, in season 5 finale, when Duncan goes into the cave to find the former champion, why is he so damn old? I get that he has been waiting in that cave for hundreds of years, but looking that old means he's been an immortal in his 80s or something? Huh. I don't think he's that old.
Yeah, he didn't read that old to me.
I think he's just like, looks like shit.
Yeah. I mean,
like an 80-year-old.
Like garbage, but.
Back then, weren't lifespans shorter?
They were.
So, like, I don't know. Maybe.
I think people look bad in the past.
Yeah.
Like they're weathered, right?
That people look like shit in the past.
Yeah.
Also lived in a cave.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, here we go. He says then, no wonder he hides in caves. I would guess that things like arthritis wouldn't have an impact on an immortal, but being a senior citizen immortal would probably have a target on his back. Again, I don't agree that he's old. But then he says, we know that once you're immortal, your scars heal. But what about when you are mortal? Although in Homeland, we see Duncan get sliced by Robert when they're fighting over Deborah. But then later, Anne says to Duncan that he doesn't have any scars. Duncan wasn't immortal yet, so wouldn't you think there'd be a scar? Or maybe once you become immortal, scars just fade away? Who knows?
Interesting.
Good question.
In the original Highlander script, isn't Connor's body covered in scars?
It is. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like that in Batman, like when he like takes off his costume and he's covered in scars, baby.
It's good. There's that Alex Ross painting of that, which is like fucking great.
What does Bruce Wayne tell ladies when they see it? I play a lot of violent polo.
Yeah.
I fell off a cliff while base jumping.
Into a box of scissors.
Yeah.
His next topic is immortals in modern times. I think it would suck to create a new immortal and have to fight with swords. Immortals older than 200 years old lived and died by the sword for centuries before that. To face an immortal who held the sword daily for hundreds of years before they fell out of fashion would be a terrible thing to face when you're someone like Richie, who's only ever seen swords used in movies. I think an immortal would forget about swords and just go for a nice Uzi. However, it's considered bad form to shoot your opponent with a gun and take their head, but really, I don't see why. I mean, as swords evolved from basically sharpened shards of bronze to folded steel katanas, immortals were given better weapons to fight with. As weaponry has gone from swords to guns, why wouldn't they do the same? Seems like that would make the game more interesting. A sword is still the most practical way of taking someone's head, but I don't know if there's any rules where using a gun would be prohibited. I think it's just an unspoken rule among immortals that using a gun is cheating. Poison and gas, drugging, and running you down with a car, and all of that is clearly not cheating, but somehow they feel guns are. Weird.
I do think that they feel that those things are cheating. I think all the people who do that are viewed as cheaters.
Yeah, like the gas and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know that that's accurate. And two, I actually think this show would be way less interesting if people just use guns. The fact that they meet up and have sword fights is literally the thing that's fucking interesting about the show.
Right.
About this thing, right? I think it is in the opposite of this point is true. I think.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need like rules like this to help like create an interesting narrative. Like it's the Holy Ground thing too. It's like we weren't sure if it was real or not, or is it just tradition, as they say in the movie? It's fine that it's tradition because we want characters to talk to each other, and it's a device to let them do that and
have epic duels with each other and not just pay assassins to decapitate each other all the time.
Yeah.
Which is what you would do, right?
Yeah. And also, if Highlander had all these guns, it would just look like any other movie. So,
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
What if they had gun swords like in Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
8? Oh yeah, that's.
Are you guys playing the reboot? The what's it called? Final Fantasy 7?
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I was shocked to learn, if you've never played the original, you start off in the city, you maybe play the first 5 hours there, and then you emerge into the wider game, which is probably like a 40-plus hour game. Apparently, they decided they were going to break this up into multiple parts. So it is like a 50-hour game that is the first 5 hours of the original, which makes me nervous and makes me think that it might all be filler, but I don't know.
How many games are they going to release that you have to pay like $60?
The rumor I've heard is that there's ultimately going to be 3.
Okay.
But that's insane that they took a game that was made like 15 years ago and have now found a way to stretch it into 3 additional games. Either way, I don't have a PlayStation 4 or 5 or whatever it is. 4. And as a result, I can't play it. But I imagine I'll get around to it eventually.
I don't have a PlayStation 4 either. I want one now. Final Fantasy 7 was my favorite game. I had all the Final Fantasy 7 like action figures. So it drives me nuts that I don't have it, but I don't have, hundreds of dollars to spend on a PlayStation 4.
Yeah. It looks great.
Does look cool. All right, guys, last point from Tony E here.
Tony.
Hey, Tony, I've been looking for you, you mook.
Oh, boy. So this heading is good and bad immortals are equal, he says.
Whatever he's about to say, I disagree.
I don't know. He says, here's the theory.
Now, let's see if I'm right.
All right, here's a theory for you. Whatever force in the universe is creating immortals is creating them to be inherently good or evil. They can be tainted by one they can be tainted by one side or the other, but their core is something that will battle forever. That's why Darius hides in a church, I think. He either knows he is inherently evil and needs to shield himself from falling back into the old ways, or he is inherently good and is ashamed that he was tainted by the darkness. I think
I'm confused already.
I don't agree. And I will also say, I sometimes do this, but anytime you say it's either one thing or the other, that's often not true. Like there's a third, like already I can think of a third option. Like the choices here are he's inherently good and ashamed that he was tainted by darkness. So he's just hiding because he's like embarrassed. Or he's bad, inherently evil, it says, and he's shielding himself from doing that again. I mean, there's also that he's good and thinks that being in the church will do good.
Yeah.
Or that's an option.
That he doesn't want to fight anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of other options between than just the two here. I guess. Anyway, so then he goes on to say, I just think with the level of badness that some immortals are, it makes sense. Some are always in positions to do nothing but evil. Others are constantly on the side of the downtrodden or trying to help people. It makes sense that there would be equal forces for dark and light, because that's just the way the universe works. I just think about how much it will suck when good triumphs over evil. What? Young Duncan says, good always does. And then we are left with nothing but good immortals forced to kill all their friends. I see. So in this, there's the math is that good always triumphs over evil. So when there's no evil left because of the game, all the good people will have to kill each other.
We could just not.
What kind of person would be the last immortal? Either she would be the darkest being who ever existed, or they would be the best who ever existed and just happen to kill recently a whole lot of really good people. That's dark. That's actually a very interesting way to think about it.
Yeah. But in Highlander, the movie, Connor, he wins and he doesn't kill any good people.
Well, I think it's because an evil person killed all the good people.
Right.
I guess is what we're supposed to think.
So
and then there literally is, like, the movie almost does have this, like, these cosmic forces of good and evil come together. Like, literally the last good immortal and the last evil immortal fight for the soul of humanity. It's like,
I can see everything. I am everything.
It's so weird.
But good point. Tony E. This is like a question that gets brought up in like the fandom a lot, and I think it's really interesting. And it's weird because it's almost impossible to answer the question. Like they toy with it in the first movie, right? Like Connor says to Ramirez, like, "Oh, if we were the last two, would you do this?" And you have to like wonder, like, "Oh, I wonder, like, what would happen." But they've never been able to explain this concept in the series because it would mean the end of the game. So
right,
it's kind of like a weird untouched question of the show or property. That is kind of interesting. I don't know. It's like, oh, what happens if two good people, like two heroes that we loved, had to fight at the end? Dark. And so Tony E closes. Sorry to give you so much to read, but I love your podcast and love how it makes me think. I love nerding out over Highlander, and these are thoughts I've had for years and years. Listening to your conversations about the episodes just reminds me about all the things I thought of over the years as I watched the series and rewatched it over and over. As always, you guys are doing a great job and absolutely do love the series. And you absolutely do the series justice with your very clever commentary. Hey, we're clever, guys. I hope you can continue to do this with other shows. Briscoe County Jr. Oh, we got to talk about that. Firefly, Travelers, Forever Night, or even bite off a big one and do SG-1 and the whole Stargate franchise. You guys are the first podcast I ever listened to, and I've absolutely set the bar for me. Wow, that's really awesome. I can't stand. I can't read that. So yeah, thank you very much, Anthony. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very nice.
Yeah, that is very kind.
Did you see the April Fool's joke Bruce Campbell put on Twitter?
No.
It was like coming to Netflix, new episodes of Briscoe County.
No shit.
I love it.
So I should mention this. So as part of the, this whole quarantine thing, we were all watching stuff we haven't seen in a while, I guess, and binging things. So I started rewatching Briscoe County Jr. If anyone hasn't seen it out there, I recommend it. I don't know if it's streaming literally anywhere, but it's great. And while I was watching, I was like, wow, this show would be great for a reboot. Like, I think it was a show ahead of its time. Like, it's this like comedy, adventure, sci-fi thing. Like, actually, it's very close to Firefly. Firefly is the closest that came to like kind of a new sci-fi cowboy show, but it's good. And it's all like philosophy too, which is something I don't remember as much from when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because like Briscoe, he's like a lawyer. He went to Harvard, and all the characters, like, I don't know, each like what's the guy from Courage? Oh, we were just talking about Courage. What's his name? The actor.
Oh, I forget his name. Cullen?
Yeah, Cullen. Yeah. He's got 3 names. Shit. But he's in the show. He's hysterical. But he's a classicist at heart, and he like rails on modernism all the time. It's very funny.
Yeah, no, that character is great. I will come up with this guy's name in a second. John Piper Ferguson.
John Piper Ferguson. Great in the show.
He was great on his episode of Highlander.
He was. That's still might be my favorite episode.
Really good episode.
I mean, that's certainly on the short list for best performance in a Highlander episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got another one, guys. This might be our last email for the day. We've gotten through, what, 4 or 5?
I don't know. That last one from Tony was basically War and Peace. So,
well, there's a sequel, guys. This is also from Anthony. Yeah, Anthony E. I'm sorry, but we're going in order. So this is for he wrote us about the Wrath of Kali, which is episode 4-9. So that's why this.
Kali.
That's right. This is from October 31st, Halloween.
Ooh.
Happy Halloween, ladies.
Okay. So he says, hey, guys, my depression over the end of season 5 and essentially the series has given me the opportunity to go back through the past episodes. I listened to season 4, episode 9 this morning on my commute and had some thoughts for you. I know this is way after the episode, but I thought I'd share anyway. It paid off, Anthony. I hope you still listen.
Yeah.
So the Tuggy cult was a real thing, as you noted. It was also the cult of Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom movie. You questioned whether or not they were in the episode, but fortunately for you, I just watched it with my teenagers over the summer, and when they were around the dinner table, the monkey brain scene, Indiana Jones was talking to them about the Tuggy cult. It was dialogue that went way over my head when I saw the movie when I was younger, but it's kind of funny when you pick it up on as an adult with a little more education. Anyway, you are correct that it was the Tuggy that was in the movie, and that's where we get the word tug from. I'm sure this is the 10,000th email confirming it for you, but I'd like to be part of that crowd, I guess.
You mean thug? The word thug?
Yes. Well, yeah. Did I say tug?
You did.
Whoops. Sorry.
Steamboat.
Oh,
Willie.
wouldn't that happen? Steamboat, Tugboat Willie? Were you gonna say Steamboat Willie?
I said Steamboat, but Tugboat Willie.
Tuggy Willie? Mickey is a
bandit.
Yeah, it's a bandit. Anyway, Anthony goes on to say, I really wanted to say how much I appreciate the way you guys deal with political, cultural, and religious topics on your podcast. I don't know if this has changed since then. I picked up in the past some of your political leanings and very slight hints as to your religious and cultural views, but nothing like people would have pushed with an audience the size of yours. You're in a situation at this point where you officially have a platform for expressing your views, but you do such a great job restraining yourselves as to not polarize your listeners. You aren't using your celebrity status. Believe it or not, you qualify as celebrities. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
But I like it. About it.
Huh? To try to preach your message to the masses like so many others have done. Anyway, Adrian Paul sent a tweet or Facebook post or something at the time. I'm really not into social media much, so he says that he thought it was wrong for people to use their celebrity status to push their political views on people. We don't want blah, 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 blah. He goes on to say, anyway, in this particular episode, there were plenty of chances to express your religious and cultural views, and I was just so impressed with the way Kyle approached it. So well done, man. You are a credit to the I'm not reading that because it's a joke and not going to read it. What's that?
I said, fair enough. Also, I like that we opened this episode with a rant about tort reform, so I don't know if you still agree. But Tony, thank you for your kind words. We appreciate you.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much, Tony. We really appreciate it. I don't know if your opinion has changed on that. I think we've said a few things on this podcast that, I don't know, we've been upset about some stuff. So maybe
not in the last 5 months, though. But maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? But no, that really meant a lot that, you've noticed that. And honestly, it's a thing that is discussed on the show. As weird as that might seem, like what goes into a production of a show. Stuff like that we've talked about that from the onset and talked about it, I don't know, every couple months, every once in a while it comes up. It's like, what do we share on the podcast? What's personal? What's not? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So. What's appropriately on topic to discuss? What isn't?
Yeah, and it's also weird too because we want to make the show authentic and personal, but we also don't want to alienate people, but we want to give honest opinions about stuff. So it is a weird position to be in, and I'm sure we've said things at times that some people have not agreed with, and are probably upset that we said it or made jokes or whatever. I don't know. Our intention is not to be malicious usually with this stuff, but we're just.
Aim it is. Look at that face. Look at it. Thank you very much for your kind words, Tony, and for your Tuggy facts.
Yeah.
I had forgotten all about the Temple of Doom connection.
I like that movie. It doesn't. I like Temple of Doom a lot. It kind of doesn't hold up too well these days. I mean, just in terms of political correctness.
Yeah.
Well, to be clear, it is it's like a pastiche of something that was pretty racist.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and
that is true. It's always tricky though. How do you handle that though? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know how you handled that. I mean, certainly the story they chose to tell didn't make it easier to avoid those pitfalls. But you see those old serials that movie is very much like a homage to, and oh my god, the stuff they say in it is horrifying. It's so bad.
Yeah, as far as that goes, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is like a massive improvement.
Right.
Yes, but it imports a bunch of it tries to remove a lot of the racist trappings from things in a way that I am not sure it's possible to 100% succeed.
Right.
And that's how you get, what's the kid's name?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. So what can you do?
Yeah. I remember years ago, Kyle, you got me a DVD of those Batman serials.
That was a long time ago.
The 30s. Have you seen those, Eamon?
Yes. I had to turn it off.
Yeah, great example of what we're talking about right now.
Like all of a sudden in the middle of a Batman story, they're literally talking about rounding up Japanese people to be put in like an internment camp, but it's like,
And
holy shit.
And they use slurs.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
Oh yeah, like blatant slurs. And at one point they're like, we've turned now to Gotham's little Tokyo, a proverbial ghost town, after a wise government chose to round up, and then it says, I forget what, but something that is not fit for broadcast, like the way it describes people. And of course the villain is like a white guy with some with really offensive makeup on.
Yeah, not good.
Mr. Moto style.
Yeah, worse than Sean Connery in, was that You Only Live Twice?
Yep. Sean Connery is made up to look like a Japanese person. And
that movie is hysterical, by the way.
I love that movie.
Up to and including that sequence, because they're like, it's uncanny. And it's like, no, it's not. It's just racist.
Like you both, or Kyle, you had watched those recently.
Yes.
I'm excited. They're back on, I think, Amazon.
Yeah, the rights situation on those must be complicated, or they must be in such demand that they're able to just like lease them.
Yeah, I went to rewatch them a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, Kyle did this. This sounds like a fun project. And I couldn't find them like anywhere. It was like only the Pierce Brosnan ones, I think, were on maybe Amazon or Netflix. And I was like, I'm not starting there. I can't do it.
Yeah, the weird thing about those is like they're on streaming for like a month.
Yeah.
And they'll be off.
Well, maybe I have a couple left in the middle between Pierce Brosnan and where I had left off, because they switched over and I couldn't find where they were streaming now. So then I finished the Pierce Brosnan ones, but I have to like jump back for like Timothy Dalton, and I think I've the one right before that I still have to watch. But anyway, cool. It's a good quarantine project. So
yeah. All right, so let's talk how this is all gonna move forward, guys. So we're gonna try to make all these episodes about an hour long, 45 minutes or so. So we're going to wrap up today, but we wanted to like touch base with everybody out there on what you want to see going forward. We're going to record another reader mail episode after we're done this one. And I don't know, we've got some ideas on stuff we can do, some activities. Hopefully we make some more like Facebook, Twitter posts, Instagram posts. That'll be fun. I don't know what else I want to say about that. I mean, we're diving into reader mail. So if you've wanted to tell us something, this is your chance to write us at highlanderrewatch@gmail.com. And send us your thoughts, because we're going to read it on the air, because we're kind of just holding here for now. But I don't know. We've got some stuff in the works that we'll do. Any other thoughts, guys?
Sorry we have to prolong season 6 of Highlander, everybody's least favorite season.
Right.
No, we just got to give time for those spin-offs to ferment.
That's right. But yeah, we feel like, I don't know, I personally at least feel, I don't want to speak for you guys, that this might be the best. Like, I don't want to like shortchange our reviews of those episodes or have them not be the caliber that our regular episodes are. So not that the bar's low, but despite what Anthony E said.
Yeah. Since we're getting so close to the end, I don't know. Part of me wants to kind of savor these last episodes, even if they're not amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would rather do them in person and, with our normal tomfoolery. Though I think this Zoom-related setup that we're using for recording is working reasonably well, and it does enable me to wear this Wookiee robe. So
wow, look at that!
As one does.
Now you look like a Jawa.
A Jawa. Wookiee.
Very good. So I hope everybody's doing okay out there. In either your work situation, I don't know, you're with your kids probably, schooling things weird. I don't know, it's a lot of weird changes, but hopefully this can be kind of a constant thing going forward. Every Tuesday, new episodes, all that stuff. I don't know if there's anything else to say, but
find us on Facebook, find us on Patreon,
that's right,
Etsy. You know the drill at this point, probably.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Well, we'll be back next week. And, stay safe, everybody out there. Wash your hands, all that good stuff. We've been your Rewatchers. I'm Keith.
I'm Kyle.
This is Eamon.
Bye.
Bye.